When I paint, nothing exists. Sometimes I go back and was it I that went through all that horrible thing? I live a lot in the past. At my age, darling, you cannot look too much to the future. I have horrible dreams, you know. Nobody that went through what I did has free nights. I don't know what other people felt. I felt nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. I was numb. I became completely numb when they took everybody away from me. In 1939, the war breaks up. The bombs were falling all around us, and that when we realized the Germans are invading Poland. That everybody prayed already that they come in and it's over, because the bombing was absolutely horrible. When on the radio, one of the officials was telling every man to leave Poland as quickly as possible because they kill all the men. And my father decided that he wants to take me with him. When we came to the bridge, something told me, Daddy, I'm not going with you. I'm going back to Mommy. I can't leave them alone there. My father, when he reached his final destination, sent a car for us to go to him, and my mother refused. She said nothing will happen to us. The only thing that the Germans did at that time is put all the Jewish people in one area, which was called ghetto. But it was open at that time. When they started resettling all the Jews from all over Poland, some of them were resettled to Warsaw, and everybody that had a huge apartment had to take in families. So we had also to take in families. That's me, that's my sister, that's my brother, and more important, my mommy. There was a boy of whom we both were very fond of each other, and his name was WLADEK. So I adored him. We became engaged during the war. Parents and he and his brother lived in Warsaw, and they were also moved to the ghetto. He was always telling me, you will go to America. Never say we will go. You will go to America. He knew that he's not going to survive, but I didn't know. In the meantime, they closed the ghetto. Little by little, they were getting the Jewish people out. The first announcement was that they need them for work, so nobody knew at that time what's going to really happen. At the end, we already knew, but because a few people escaped, and they came to the ghetto, and they showed us what is really happening. His father, his occupation was to collect all kinds of materials, wool, cotton, silk. Thanks to his occupation, the Germans hired him to collect materials and sort it out, and then the materials were going to Germany. We were in and out, hiding out on the Aryan side and coming back, hiding out. At some places where we lived, we were very hungry. We had dark bread and onion, that's all we had to eat. The one time that we were hiding out together, we went back. But WLADEK was sick. So he said he's going to stay one more day and then he will come. That one more day turned into a terrible tragedy. The reason I wasn't told by the father, he didn't want to tell his wife that the son was killed. Only after the war I have learned that WLADEK is not coming back. Until one day the German, that was exactly Atonement Day, which is called Yom Kippur. The German put out an announcement, Jews, nobody is going to be taken anymore. We have enough of quota for the workers. You can come out and do whatever you want. We didn't believe it, our family. At night, my mother said to me, you know what, since there are so many empty apartments, why don't you take Joe with you and wash him up? He was a little child, he was 5 years old. And we decided we're going to sleep already there, you know. There were such nice, clean beds, you know. What really happened, one of the people that was hiding with us decided he's going to go out. If we can go out, he's going to go out. And he was caught by the Germans. And his plea was, if you let me alive, I will show you where other Jews are. They brought him back. They showed him he is the one that betrayed you, and took everybody that was in the open. My mother and my sister was sent to Treblinka, which is not far from Warsaw. My mother and my sister were absolutely the first ones to go. My sister had polio. Immediately, anybody that was handicapped. My mother hurt herself and had a whole knee in bandages. At that point, I didn't even cry. I couldn't even cry anymore. And I said, well, we are next. I mean, nobody thought that it's even possible to survive that kind of a Holocaust. So when we were running from one place to another, I was wearing a veil and a bouquet of flowers that I was coming from a funeral. I never wanted to walk with my brother because he looked like a little Aryan boy, but Joe knew where he was supposed to go. And that's what he did. He was very damaged by the war, really damaged, because he was always scared that they're coming for him. The last place where we were hiding was not anymore Warsaw. Among the people that were there already, one day my future husband arrived. Absolutely nobody around there. The only one could be the baker, because he was delivering bread. He was always, after the war, he was telling us, I was always wondering who needs so much bread. And I think he figured it out. And then, but he was a good man. When the bombs started to fall on Warsaw, and we heard the bombs, and we suddenly saw German soldiers like that running, and we thought that they are coming for us, so we had a hiding place. But they were running away from the Poles, whoever was after them. And my brother went to the roof of that house and said, thank God we are saved, you know, and he was only 8 at that time. 8, yeah, 8. And the war was over. And they were alive, the brother alive and STEINER alive, everybody that was hiding together was alive. I searched for everybody. My future husband knew that WLADEK is not alive. And he said to a friend of his, we have to tell Anya that WLADEK is not alive, because otherwise I have no chance of proposing to her. He wanted to propose to me. His friend invited me to her house, and she was the one that broke the news to me. I don't have to tell you how devastated I was. After a while, Stefan proposed to me. I had a good life with my husband, you know. He was very caring. And that's when my normal life started. When I first came to this country, and I took a taxi, and the driver, hearing my accent, asked me where I am from, and I said, I'm from Poland. And he says, aren't you happy what Hitler did to all the Jews? What would be your reaction? I told him to stop. I opened the door and I said, I am your dirty Jew, whatever you called us. And don't you ever say that again to anybody else, because God will punish you. I saw my father coming off the plane and I ran to him. I said, that's me, Daddy, that's me. Oh my God. And we were very happy. He adored Vivi. Oh, Vivi was his life. And there is only one like Vivian. They broke the mold when they created her, I'm telling you. She is an unbelievable daughter. My life here was very successful financially. I was traveling all over the Orient on business. Of course, when my husband died, I really started painting. On my 90th birthday, my daughter made me a gift. She took me back to Poland. It was very emotional for me to come to Poland again. Went to the office and I asked the girl if she could find if anybody by the name Władysław URWICZ is buried in the Jewish cemetery. She said, are you kidding? Who has records like that? Nobody. I said, please look, maybe there is. And there was. So I found the grave of my Władek. I had it beautifully cleaned up. I look at pictures of my mother and my sister and I cry in the evening every single night because I can imagine how they died. You know, I imagined. I look at myself now that I don't believe it was I.